Out there in the Craft Chest Nation. It's Craft Chest here, and yes, it's been a little while, but I've been super busy back and forth work and working on Project Defiant, and I have been making videos, but the new PC, I don't have Sony Vegas on it. I don't have any type of editing software whatsoever, so the other computer is still kind of iffy with random blue screens. That's the whole reason I built the new one. So I haven't really fooled with that computer much. It just has documents and pictures and files that I was using before, but not like detrimental to life. So it's just kind of kicked to the side until I can do a rebuild on it, change the motherboard and all that. But that's neither here nor there. What we're talking about is Project Defiant. And let me show you what we have going on right here. And here she is, everybody. Engine completely rebuilt via ZZ Performance, Amazon, you name it. Wherever I could pick up good parts. I have, as you can see, or maybe not see, is new struts, new everything. Control arm, bushings, all of it. You name it, it's new up under the front end. I believe the only thing I did not change was the inner tie rods because they look like they were in good position, or good condition. Boots weren't torn, still squishy, all that good stuff. Anyway, they checked out. Threads are good. And yeah, got a front end alignment going on with Project Defiant here, and so far so good. I've been doing a lot of driving back and forth, straight shots just to work and back to the house, and 2 miles up the road and all this. So far so good. And as you can see, here she is right here, looking just as good as ever. And we have a little project I'm working on today with some paint. And I know you're probably going to say, what's up with the candy cane barber pole looking thing, but check this out. What we're doing here is I'm working on a flag, which originally I was just going to do some yellow caution lines where you see here. I was just going to do some yellow caution lines across there. And then I painted it white like for a primer color. And the more I looked at it, I was like, what if I go in between there with some red stripes? And it's not going to be a complete flag, but what if we turn this into a flag? And so I got to look in and mask it off, and I painted this down here. As you can see, it's just a base coat of white, and I've scuffed it up and everything. That's why you can see some bleed through on that. Scuffed it up with a green pad, washed it down, degreased it, and now it should be ready to actually take some paint. Oh yeah, that's good right there. So we should be able to mask this off. I do have some blue paint and some more white to come back and do some stars at a later time. And I know it's not exactly a flag that you would normally see. And of course, I got some overspray to work on up here. And who knows, I may actually extend this all the way onto the trunk. Okay, I may. But right now, I'm not wanting to take the spoiler apart. And it's just a project. This is my canvas. Project Defiant is my canvas. And so, as you can see, I added some stripes at the bottom though. Those came out very nice. I don't even know if I pointed that out before in any of the other videos, if I posted any at all. So here's her profile. Yeah. Next thing later on will be, and I've reconditioned these lights a couple of times. Next thing will be to actually get a new set of lights, because these are about as conditioned and reconditioned as I'm going to get them. And I think it's down to where it's just turned yellow at this point. Yeah, but here she is right here. Yes, indeed. Had to take some decals off. Still got some work to do up here. The Rilla didn't want to stick, even with, as you can see, it had adhesion promoter and everything else that I was doing here. And if this outline stays, I'm probably going to build me a little stand to where I can hover up over this and actually come back and hand paint in here with some enamel or what have you, whatever I can find that'll stick to that Raptor, and just hand paint that Rilla back in there, because I really like that symbol. And if you haven't ever seen it, this is your first time seeing Project Defiant, this is what the actual Rilla looks like in its full form. Of course, in here we have our sundown U18s going on. I'll turn the light on. I don't know what looks better, light or no light. But there are our sundown U18s. And in the back, if you can see way back there in the trunk, we have the 2JP23 strapped at a 1/4 ohm. I did lose a battery bank. I'm down to 1.5 batteries now, so I got to be careful how hard I push it until I get power. And of course, I've said this 1,000 times, all I want for Christmas and all my priorities are, aside from all the little side projects we have going on, getting her back on the road, is power, power, and more power, and that being batteries. Whether it be LTOs, a full lithium changeover, or AGMs and super caps, which, I don't know, it just whatever I can get for a reasonable price. Right now, there are no reasonable prices on anything. So we're just doing what we can do. And painting is something that's relatively cheap. I mean, I've spent maybe 20 bucks on paint. I had paint left over from this project and this project and other ones. I had plenty of red. I bought about a 6-pack. And of course I bought some white, had it there, and some flat black, which we can come back under here at a later time and fix all this overspray. So I'm not really too concerned with that. All right. Then, when we get her to a stopping point, we're going to get us a gallon or two of Raptor and get this one sanded down and get it going. I actually had a guy, I was at Lowe's today, who asked me what year model that Cavalier is. And I told him it's an 03. And he says, "You ever think about changing the wheels on it?" And I was like, it never really came to mind. He goes, "Well, I have a set of alloyed rims from the, what do you say, ZRT edition, I think is what he said." I'm like, really? I don't even know what that is. I'm about to look that up. But he has some alloyed wheels with tires, and he said the tires are good too. Make me an offer. I was like, I'm gonna be honest with you, man, I ain't shopped for wheels like ever. And well, I mean, I have, like on Amazon and tinkering around just looking, but I wouldn't be able to tell you how much a wheel's worth. And then he said, usually about 100 to 200 a piece, but just to get them out of my yard, I'll give them to you $50, $100, whatever you think, just to get them out of my yard. I'm like, okay, well, give me a few days. I mean, I get paid next Thursday. I'm still got money I'm invested in my real ride, which is the Defiant. But he don't know who that is. But I told him anyway. I was like, I'm actually working on another vehicle right now, but you give me till next Thursday, and I'll give you a call. So we swap numbers, etc., so forth. And so yeah, we might have a set of wheels. He said he'd text me what they look like, and I told him, at your leisure, whatever. And so today, man, I come back to this, and this camera doesn't do this justice, but I come back to this a lot. This right here turned out so nice. 13 layers of paint, or is it 14? I don't really remember. Man, that looked good. That looked so good. That turned out so nice. And of course, over time, sitting out here, it's faded a little bit back here, but I can always restripe it and brighten it up if I wanted to. I kind of like it with the contrast of all the bright, kind of faded, bright back. It just gives it a look. And especially adding these stripes down at the bottom. Oh yeah. So it's coming along. Like I said, this is my canvas. Yeah, look at that. Very nice, very nice. All right, everybody. So let me get everything masked up. As you can see, she's wet. I was doing laundry, and I was like, well, in between loads, while I wash it, I'm going to go and wash the car, and then we'll get on to masking it up and getting some paint laid. And that's pretty much all I have that I wanted to actually get done today. I do have a piece of wood up there, that piece of birch, that I'm probably going to be cutting also and redoing my baffle and my port on the box, mainly for support, because I think those subs, they're still, well, they're not new, but new, because I've explained this a bunch of times. I didn't get done with the build until May. Trial runs in June. Bumped it some at Scraping the Coast, which was June or July, whatever. Sundown Audio Show in September, and this was the year before last, 2020, and that was it. So these are still, they're not even hardly broke in, but I think the time that I did play them and then them sitting like they did, they're actually broke in now. Because I've noticed they're a lot more motor force. And that motor force is flexing that box lid a lot. So it's held on the edges fine, but the actual the structure across, which I can show you, it's right here. The structure across here on the top, this is not secure to the roof, so this is flapping. When I had my ports in that were to right here, it didn't do that. So I'm going to extend the ports out to here. I'm going to have a 17-inch open port, 11 inches on either side, because I've noticed, just listening to it, I don't really get a whole lot out of these corners anyway, so I think I'm losing power anyway by not closing that port up, because it seems to be focused all up in here straight back. And hence the reason why this is happening to the windshield. It's been leaking, as you can see. And I'll have to reseal it with some more silicone. But I'm gonna keep this windshield going until it actually blows up. It's gonna happen. It's awesome. And luckily, windshield installed on this car is $120. I was like, so how much to put it in? That is to put it in. I'm like, whoa, okay, cool. So it's not really that expensive. So yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah, a one-take raw video, everybody. Project Defiant continues. Thank you, everybody out there who has stuck with us thick and thin, thin and flush. We still got some cleaning. Look at it. We got to vacuum this out, get these edges clean. Yeah, very nice, very nice. I don't know if anybody's seen the Raptor job we did on the doors. I got to get this painted on here. It's a never-ending process. Keeps me out the bars, though. It's crafted in mind. Go out there and have some fun. Woo!